Hi everyone, this is David and welcome to week 7 live chat. This is going to be a pretty relaxed week for you and a very interesting week for you as you construct and conduct your informational interview. Informational interviews are very interesting and very worthwhile. I've conducted them myself when searching for a job interview, and among the many benefits of these informational interviews, one of the most clear benefit is simply you becoming used to doing the kind of preparation work and then actually participating in an interview. Doing that practice gives you confidence as well as skill. And then, of course, you also get practice in how to follow up after an informational interview, which is as important as the informational interview itself. Your second major task this week will be to think about mentorship and who would be a good mentor for you. I have a mentor in my life. Uh, his name is Bob Tufel. He was the former CEO of the company, the publishing company where I worked as an editor. And although I haven't had that position in oh 15 years, Bob has remained my mentor throughout those 15 years, and we have regular contacts. I also mentor someone. I started mentoring this person when she was 18 years old, and she's now in her 30s. And so I mentored her throughout her college career, through her various adventures after college, and now in her professional career. So I believe strongly in mentorship. I have one myself, and I also serve as a mentor. And I think it's one of the most important relationships that you could ever have is this mentor mentee relationship. If you don't have one, I encourage you to get one. Okay, so that's my little introduction to the week. As usual, we'll begin by clicking on content and going down to the week in question, which is week 7, cultivating your network. I'm going to switch to student view here so that some of the other kinds of things don't get in our way. Now, in this student view, basically you're being told the importance of networking, and don't let that, so it almost sounds kind of cheesy, this setting up your network. Who wants to be considered part of a network? You're an individual, and you do individual type things and have your own personal agency. Really, network simply means contacts. And these are personal contacts as well as professional contacts. And sometimes a contact will be both, and that's good. And all this means is that you will be doing the very thing that everybody does once they get out of college, which is to learn that no job, no career takes place in isolation. Your career, your advancement, your personal growth, your job, it all depends upon other people, people who are close to you and distant from you. And in here, I'm talking in terms of proximity. It could be someone you work with or someone you don't work with, but they're all considered contacts. And in all of them, you want to apply the concept of emotional intelligence. One of the key characteristics of someone with EQ, or high emotional intelligence, is someone who is able to establish and maintain consistent relationships, whether they be personal or professional. So part of what people will see in you is whether or not you are open to establishing and maintaining these kind of relationships that we all depend upon. If you don't know this already, and I'm sure that you, Anati and Stephen do, Um, Work is about relationships. It's about working with the other people in your job, whether it be the client or your supervisor, whether it be your coworkers or somebody new. We do not exist in a vacuum as human beings. We depend upon our relationships, and that's what this unit is all about. Now, you have two basic assignments. Uh, these video resources, by the way, are excellent. They are also a part of your assignment. If you look at this assignment for in your discussion topic for professional networking, you'll see that you are actually assigned to watch these videos. Networking 101, asking someone to be your mentor, the importance of having a mentor. And so please watch those videos and decide upon who, you might want to choose two or three, uh, who could possibly serve as a mentor. Again, this can be personal or professional. I also serve as a mentor to a niece of mine. She's not in the same professional field as I am, but I still have that kind of personal relationship as an uncle, but also as someone who serves as an advisor to him. So another way to get names of mentors would be to join one of the student organizations here at UMUC. And there they have a list of mentors. And here's another great place for mentors. Once you join Career Quest at UMUC, you will see a list of alumni who have volunteered to be mentors to UMGC students. And so Career Quest is another great place to find mentors, advisors from this particular school in your particular field. So those are two other places where you can find mentors. Um, you're going to answer these three questions about your professional networking ability, and that is your discussion board. Now, your big assignment for the week, and I'm putting big here in quotation marks, is the informational interview. Now, what you want to do, as well as watching how to do it's a great video, by the way, how to do an informational interview. If you follow the steps that you're given in that video, step by step, you will conduct a successful informational interview. Now, keep in mind, there are job interviews. That's where you go in asking for a job. And there are informational interviews. And that's where you go in asking for information. You're not looking for a job. You just want to pick somebody's brain, hear about their experiences, hear about their view of that particular career. So watch this video, select 2 to 3 informational interview candidates, do some background on them. You can usually find that kind of information on LinkedIn. By the way, if you guys have not yet joined LinkedIn, I highly encourage you to do that. Uh, your basic membership is free. Here's my mentee, by the way, Brittany Curry. She's a graphic artist, so she's on my feed. But you can set up your profile, and it's okay that you're a student and have a kind of student-oriented profile. That's absolutely fine. But I would highly encourage you to begin setting up your LinkedIn profile and start asking people to be a part of your LinkedIn network. Obviously, I have not checked my notifications in a while. Whoa. So these are from my the people I've networked with. And I can kind of read what they're up to, respond to it, and just kind of stay in touch with them. And yes, Stephen, It being a military person is great to be on here. Anati, you're already working as a professional in your field, so you can certainly link to other healthcare people as well as friends. It's not a kind of family thing. You don't want that vibe going on, but you do want a kind of sense of um, connecting to people who are in the same profession as you.
I have it already. It's just not. I was looking at it just the other day. It's not too filled up. Uh, Trying to add the that I'm studying at UMGC, but I couldn't do it. So I said I was doing it on my phone. So I thought, let me just wait till I can get on the computer to do it.
So let me understand. You have started your
I've been having linked for a while, but I wanted to add my um
is this you? Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, I had too many profiles.
Okay. So you need to add a profile picture,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't have to be a professionally done picture. If you look at mine, you can see mine's pretty casual, and that's fine. You also
Uh-huh.
need to add a background, and
Uh-huh.
I can give you a link to places where you can get free
Okay.
backgrounds. Let me find the link here. But somebody's listening to the television. Oh, okay. Thank you. There you go. Oh, where's my LinkedIn stuff? I might have to find this. Okay, here it is. LinkedIn LinkedIn background. So here you go. Oh, you know what I should do? I should I should just post this for you guys, right? Here are all these cool LinkedIn uh, resources. By the way, I'll put this in the chat window. This is the one I was referring to, where you can get free backgrounds, Anati, for your LinkedIn profile. And so I will just pull this file out, and it will remind me to post it for you guys. Okay. Yeah, let's see. You could be a little bit more specific on your nurse there. Anati, are you a home care nurse? Okay. So I would put in home care because there's so many different kinds of nurses, right? Oh, you got to put in your education. Wow. Yeah. Now you as a student at UMGC, you would link to UMGC, you would indicate the years that you plan to attend UMGC, like you're starting in 2020, right? And then you would put a hyphen, and then when do you plan on finishing? 2024? So you would put UMGC 2020 hyphen 2024. And you would put the degree that you hope to get at UMGC. So your education section not only includes your past educational events, but it also includes ones that you're currently enrolled in. That's very important, Nadi, that people see that you're currently um, exploring, continuing your education while you're working. Very important. Same for you, Stephen. Okay, just go through all of those sections, Anadi, and put down something for all of those sections. Let's see what I've got. Um, so this is called your headline. So you need a headline. So you are a healthcare professional dedicated to patient care, right? Dedicated to your um, you're a healthcare professional dedicated to patient comfort and care. Something like that. Here's your about page. This is like a little bio. And even if you're a student, fill out this bio and indicate This is what you want to do going forward. This is what I've done. This is what motivates me. This is what I want to accomplish. If you've published anything, you put that up here. Dashboard is not seen by any other. This is very important. This activity window populates itself as you begin responding to other people in your feed. You just make comments. As you can see, I've just made comments to other people, and I donated something as well. So this records all of your activity for everyone to see at all times. So you want to be seen as someone who is active, and you just log on every day and respond to somebody. Here's my experience. Yours is going to be shorter. And here's your education. Be sure to get that emblem in there and indicate the years. And the years, again, can be current years and future years as well. Volunteer experience, skills and endorsements. Ask other people to endorse you. Ask me to endorse you. I will endorse you. You can also take these quizzes. Stephen, this would be good for you with your computer background, is to take these skill quizzes.
Yeah, I'm taking note of all this. I actually created my account like an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Way to go. That's
thank you.
amazing that we're doing this.
Yeah, works out.
Ask people to recommend you. There's a LinkedIn recommendation tool that you use. Basically, you click here, ask for a recommendation, and you put in that person's name, and that person has the option of to say yes or no. You can ask as many people for recommendations as you want. Accomplishments, everybody's got accomplishments. You wouldn't be here now if you didn't have accomplishments in your life. Interest, fill that up. Nadia, I noticed you had only one. Fill this up. Okay. All right. Well, we kind of got sidetracked a little bit there on LinkedIn, but that's okay. That's good. This and it motivates me to kind of get some stuff going for you. So you're going to gather details about that person. You can usually find them on LinkedIn. If not, just Google them, and then send them an email. And here are some templates. Here's an email informational interview request with samples. And so you just kind of follow this pattern. Those are sample messages. And I do have to see your request email too. Then you basically schedule an interview with that person. You want to prepare at least five open-ended questions. And so open-ended questions are questions that cannot be answered with a yes or no. So you would ask questions about, tell me how you became interested in this career. You're going to get a 5 or 10 minute answer there. Tell me about your typical workday, or describe your typical workday to me. What are some of the important or memorable challenges that you've had to confront and overcome in your job? If you had to describe what your job's benefit was to you and to society, how would you describe it? So make them open-ended, large questions that indicate your desire to gain insight about this job or this career choice. Okay, 20 minutes. Conduct your interview. Oh, here's some questions. Oh, here you go. Those are good questions. And then you post your interviews. Here's what you do. After your interview, summarize your notes in 2 to 3 paragraphs. You got to describe the interview, summarize it. Include the name of the interviewee, a short biography describing his or her background experiences, and then a synopsis. So you want to include at least those three things in your interview summary that you submit. And you also include your questions. Okay, so those are the two major assignments that you have this week. Let's go ahead and you guys are muted now. Please feel free to unmute yourself and let's ask and answer any questions that you have.
Hey, Dr. Taylor, I had a question about scheduling these interviews with potential candidates. If someone were to ask me right now, could I get an interview with you this week? Due to the nature of my job, I would tell them no, not this week, next week. I understand that people's professional lives are sometimes sporadic and tough to get around. That being said, if we obviously make an attempt to reach out to somebody to get an interview and the fish just aren't biting, we're not able to get an interview this week, how would we explain that to you? And how would we say, like, okay, well, I have an interview next week. Could I push my assignment forward by 7 days and I just turn it into you then? Would that be allowed?
Yes, that is perfectly allowed, Stephen. That's perfectly acceptable. There's another option there. Unless you really have your heart set upon interviewing this one person. If that person is busy, try somebody else. That's something you can do.
Right. No, absolutely. I figured the purpose of the assignment is to reach out to a larger pool of people to interview. So I certainly understand that. I guess really I'm just thinking catastrophically, absolute worst case scenario if we're not able to find somebody in our field. So
yeah, that's fine.
I think that's my biggest concern is not only their time that I have to curtail to, but my week as well. I certainly have time to be working on projects by myself and have time to do something like this. So I just wanted to kind of open up that question in case anyone else had it. So
that is a great question because in this assignment, you are kind of at the whim of somebody else, kind of like the group project, but much more difficult to corral.
Right.
But because you really don't have any control. There might even be cases where an interviewee has agreed to a certain date and time and then couldn't make it.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about that.
Absolutely.
The same thing if somebody agrees to a date and time and they forget about it,
Right.
or they get caught up in something and they show up late. There are just so many X factors that you can't control. That of course you can do this. You can hand it in late. Sure.
I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
Okay, Anadi, any questions?
My question, can you interview a retiree?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they'd be great. That'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, they would have a lot of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, the only criteria would be that they are relevant to your particular career field
Right.
in some way, uh, and that they're breathing.
And if they what? I'm sorry, Dr. Taylor.
Breathing.
Oh, breathing. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
if they have a pulse.
Right. Yeah, they
That
have
would
to
be
be
it.
breathing.
Which in your field, no, I'm just kidding, might be a consideration.
Yeah.
I mean,
So how many people in total do you have to interview? I don't
One.
know. It was only one person. Oh,
Yes.
okay. I already have one in mind that I know will agree to it. And I noticed something there about Zoom or you can do okay, so you conduct the interview or whatever form you're gonna be doing it, whether Zoom or
phone,
record or phone or
email.
email.
Yeah.
And so you don't send the actual interview to as the assignment. I don't know if I understood everything correctly here. You don't send that interview to you So
No,
I
just
said
the, I'm sorry, just the summary of the interview.
summary. I
Yeah,
summarize it.
yeah,
Okay, got it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I, I guess you could record the interview, and certainly if you conduct the interview via email, you would have a record of the interview. But there are a lot of words spoken in these situations that may or may not, be germane to
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing. So I think it's probably best to interpret this assignment just as it's written, as a summary of the interview, not a transcript of the interview.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
The
That's a good,
summary.
that's a good question.
No, the transcript.
Stephen, she was just asking about the different platforms on which you can conduct the interview, Zoom, phone, email. I see you're in a workplace, so you might even have the option to do it face to face or mask to mask. But certainly all of those options are
I'll
available
be
to
right
you.
back.
Okay. So anything else, Anati? And congratulations on getting started on your LinkedIn page. That's wonderful. And I
Yeah,
will,
I'm gonna. I think, with the phone, there's this like, what do they call it? Automatic sign. Where I'm using an iPhone, so I sign in with my. So
gotcha.
I just signed. So I think I forgot my. Maybe I have to go to forgot password so I can log in into a computer, a laptop or whatever, instead of logging in my phone, because it doesn't really show
Mhm.
nicely on the phone to do some corrections or editing or whatever. So I think I just have to
But
log in on the laptop.
so let me understand, you've forgotten your password, but your iPhone remembers it. However, you wish to sign in on a different device.
Yeah.
Now, your iPhone has your password.
Yeah, it has all the passwords. Just like all the time I forgot where to go.
Okay. I don't use an iPhone. Stephen, can you help her to go to the place where her passwords are stored on an iPhone?
I'm sure my son knows. I mean,
Okay,
What are you
there
trying to
you
log
go.
into?
She's trying to get a password for LinkedIn that has been stored on her iPhone, but
I
she
mean, doesn't wouldn't LinkedIn have like a forgot your password kind of thing?
yes, and
um,
she's willing to do that. But I'm saying she might also want to, instead of
just get
going
my
through,
current password on.
I
yeah,
think I'm not sure with iPhone, but I'm pretty sure with Google it can save your passwords. You would have to
Mhm,
go through some pretty lengthy things to get that password written out.
mhm.
And I know Google does a really good job with just putting them as hyphens and everything, and it never actually shows what the password is. If Google usually does anything, it's like, here, I'm going to give you a temporary password for you to then go in and then change your password again. We're never going to display what your password is,
Right.
because that compromises. A lot of people use the same password for everything,
Mhm.
um, and that compromises the rest of your sites if they were to display that. So, short answer, I don't think so.
Yeah, I've seen it. I mean, several times. Just that I always forget where to go. So
Right.
they
Yeah.
are all there, clear too, because you sign in first on your phone to get to that place.
Yeah, absolutely.
and how
Especially
do you see
especially
what?
with like LinkedIn. When I signed into that, it was like sign in through Google, and I haven't had to log into Google for so long. So it's like, well, what is my
Mm-hmm.
Google password, right? So I had to figure that out, and then to
Mm-hmm.
sign into that.
Stephen, by Google, do you mean Chrome, your Chrome browser?
Now, my Google account, it allowed me to create a LinkedIn
Oh,
account with my Google account.
okay.
So it's nice because my profile picture carried right over.
That's
So
your Google Gmail account, right?
yeah, yeah, the Google account that my Gmail is tied to and everything. Um, Real quick, Dr. Taylor, I wanted to apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't mean to. I value your time and I value these meetings. I'm the only one here, so I got to let these guys into this locker room. So if
No
I got to
problem.
get up, I'm sorry.
No problem. Hey,
Okay.
Anadi, do you see what's on my screen now?
Yes.
So that's how to find your passwords on your iPhone.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. And then if you go to Google Chrome, saved passwords, it will show you how to get your passwords on Google Chrome. So that's how to view and delete your passwords on Google Chrome.
I feel silly because I was saying that I don't think there's a way that it happens, and the answer was literally on the screen saying that it can happen. I'm like, no, no, it can't. Sorry.
No, I have to. The reason I know, Stephen, is I'm so dumb and forgetful that I have to use these steps a lot to go find my passwords.
Well, what I've been doing is I just write down all my passwords in a notebook and just keep the notebook. And having written them down, I feel like I can keep it safer.
Gotcha.
But
for God's sake,
again,
don't lose that notebook.
I know, right?
You might want to make a backup of that notebook. So I will send you these. I'll make a screenshot of these, Anadi.
Okay, thank you.
And I will send you these screenshots. And that will help you with your password dilemma. And we all have these dilemmas as well. And we all come up with different ways of solving them. But we have so many passwords, so many sites that we have to come up with a way of keeping them. I have a way, I don't want to say it, for security reasons, but I have a list of, I'm sure everybody does, of 200 or 300 passwords to, the 200 or 300 sites I've, logged into over the years. So don't feel bad about having to do that, I guess was my point. So that's pretty much it, you guys. You're going to think about mentorship, and you're going to write your discussion board answering those 3 questions on networking and mentorship. But your big assignment is to prepare for, conduct, and summarize an informational interview. And when you turn in your summary of the informational interview, be sure to include these things right here: the name, biography, experiences, and a summary of the highlights or details of the interview. And that's what you submit in the assignment portal. Okay. Any more questions? We're almost done with this course this week and next week. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Praise
I have a question. Sorry. I mean, maybe I should know this. Me being the first time going back to school after so many years, probably over 20 something years. Especially online. I have never done online. So is there an exam every end of the semester?
It's a good question. By the way, if I started asking all the questions that that have answers I should have known, we'd be here for centuries.
Yeah.
So, now it's a very good question, because when I first joined UMUC back in 2002, 2004, every course had a final exam, and you had to go to a proctored place to take that exam. And that proctor had to stand there and watch you take that exam. You gave the proctor gave you the exam. It was mailed to the proctor. The proctor gave you exam, took it from you, put it in an envelope, and mailed it back to the professor. That's how UMUC used to operate. I think that went out, I don't know, like in 2007, I think it went out. So no, there are no more exams.
Anadi, I think they kind of replaced that with like what we're doing in writing, where we have that case study that we have to write. I think that's what it's turning into, is because that final draft of the case study is worth 30% of your grade.
Which is next week.
Yeah, I just got my first draft back, so.
I haven't submitted mine yet because it's just a lot been happening at work. Yeah. I stay at work, by the way, which is a good arrangement for me. So I'm always working.
Tell me
Yes,
about
you are.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I'm always
feel
at
you.
work. I'm always on call,
Yeah,
like
gotta
a
be both.
doctor.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of what you're right. I was looking for some kind of final examination. I don't know if I was expecting some kind of multiple choice with writing, but no, I think it just turns into things like that, like case studies. And honestly, this assignment here, having to actually reach out to people and creating an interview, while this isn't our last project, I feel like the scope of the projects is getting wider and wider. So
Mhm.
looking forward to what week 8 holds.
Yeah.
That heavily weighted assignment at the end of a writing course is pretty typical of a writing course because
Yeah.
it's a skills course. So
Right.
you don't want assignments at the beginning of the course where your writing skills are not as developed to count as much as the assignments at the end of the course when supposedly you have developed your writing skills. It's like archery.
Right.
You know, you don't want the number of bullseyes you got in class number 1 to weigh the same as the number of bullseyes you got in class number 8. And that's pretty typical for writing, especially writing at this school. There are other, I would say most other, as Stephen was saying, uh, because I work in Effective Writing Center, I've been in and worked with a lot of different professors and a lot of different courses. And I think what Stephen is saying is true, that most courses now build to like a capstone assignment at the end.
Mhm.
Often that capstone assignment is a lengthy written project.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Great.
Okay, well, anything else? Stay in touch. Let me know of what if you run into any intractable problems with your informational interview, and I'll help you work around it. Okay,
Awesome.
and I can always serve as your interviewee, I guess, or at least refer you to someone who is.
Okay. That's a good idea.
All right. Well, I will
Thank
see you guys
you.
later. You bet. You're welcome, Anadi. Thank you guys for coming by. You've been the real stalwarts for all of these chats, and I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Steve.
See you guys later.
Bye.